Hello, hello, hello. This is Shantae Alrighty. I'm back with another stimulus update regarding the CARES Act. So do come on in. This again is for entrepreneurs and business owners. And very important information. So you want to make sure that you tune in. If you missed this live, hit replay, comment replay, and join in. Do hit the love button and share this out when you do tune in, because like I said, this is going to be very important. I'll try to be short and to the point. So I have been talking about over the last few days regarding the EIDL advance and loan. So if you're not familiar with it, it is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan program that is administered by the SBA. Okay, so I've been talking about this, talking about it. And there were certain benefits that were provided to entrepreneurs and small business owners as part of the CARES Act. So a big part of that, so they already had the disaster recovery loan program, right? But they enhanced it for the coronavirus, right? And so in addition to the loan, they added on a great benefit, which they called an advance, which is a grant. It's basically free money that as an applicant, if you had a successful application, right? So the applications opened March the 30th, as soon as they passed the CARES Act, right, which was on March 27th, then March 30th, they opened up the applications with the new streamlined process, made it super, super simple, right? And then they added on the grant. So if you apply that and you click that check button that said that you wanted to receive that $10,000 grant, that meant that you were entitled to it once you submitted your application and you had a successful application. How do you know if you had a successful application? After you applied, you hit that submit button, you would have been taken to a screen that would give you a confirmation number or application numbers, like a long, like 12-digit number. So if you apply back in April or March or April, you are entitled to the grant. That's before they close due to lack of funding. They recently opened it up a few weeks ago when they got more funding, but they only opened it up to agricultural businesses. So if you apply and you're not an agricultural business after they got the new funding, this does not apply to you. If you apply before they ran out of funding, this is for you, okay? There just have been so many inconsistencies with the program. It's insane, right? So what I did was I have been writing my congressional leaders even before this, but just before I came on here, I hit the send button on an email to my local SBA director, the regional director, and the leaders that fall under him. So there's 3 leaders that fall under him. They all got the email with my attached signed letter, a petition regarding this program. And so I would encourage you all to do the same. Why? Because I have gone live. I have been putting out like little surveys, having Q&A, room chats with entrepreneurs and small business owners. And it's just a complete inconsistency about how they are processing the applications and distributing the funds, right? And so there's a lot of frustration amongst us as small business owners, and these are legitimate frustrations. And Congress has asked the SBA a number of times about, they even wrote a letter, and if you watch one of my previous lives, you would have seen that they actually submitted a letter to the SBA asking them about this program, what is going on with the money, right? So they have not been fully transparent. What is the holdup? So we know they had system problems and things like that, and they were bombarded. They asked a question regarding the advance. Why is it that they only distributed $1,000 per employee, which is not what Congress intended? And Congress intended for us to have the entire $10,000 if you met the requirements, meaning that you had a successful application process. One of the misunderstandings that some people, like even some of the comments I saw like on my YouTube channel, is that if you were denied that you don't qualify for the grant. That is not true. The grant was supposed to be deposited in your account 3 days after you apply. So once you had a successful submission, all of us were looking, okay, comment if you were one of those that were looking to see if your money was deposited in your account. and days went by, weeks went by, and people did not have their deposits, okay? And so that has become a big issue. So if you are one of those that had your loan denied, and some of you don't even know it was denied, and some of you had to call, you didn't even get a letter, and then you called, they didn't even follow up and say, oh, well, we will now send you a letter. You need to have record of the entire application process. That is going to be to your benefit, because believe me, there's going to be repercussions from this, and you want to make sure that you get exactly what you're entitled to. So I don't care what people are saying. So when people are calling, so once I put out that I had called and I had sent an email to the SBA, and the people said that they followed and called, and then they were given again misinformation saying that, oh, if we denied you, then you don't get the grant. That is not true. There were people who got the grant, right, in April and didn't know that they were denied. They had to call and find out weeks later they were denied, okay? So that means if they got it and they were denied, you get it too. It's not, it should be fair across the board. The law does not say some people that were denied get it and some people that were denied don't. It doesn't even say only those that were approved get it. It doesn't matter. It says no matter if you are approved or denied for the loan, you get the grant, okay? So just make sure that you remember that, and I would encourage you all to do exactly what I did. I put in the description for you exactly where you can go to contact your congressional representatives, that's your House of Representatives, that's your Senate. You have representatives that you can go to, that you can petition and let them know like what your situation is and that you want this to be resolved, right? We need as many entrepreneurs and small business owners calling, writing, right, emailing your representatives to let them know like this is unacceptable. It is really unacceptable. And then I have the SBA, right? The SBA, like I said, I just wrote the SBA, and I plan on following that up with the letter to the headquarters that's in DC. Okay, so I wrote my district office, then I'm going to follow that up, writing directly to the DC office. So you have local SBA representatives, district representatives that you can write to. Again, I would encourage you to call them. If you can't get through to the phone, I always like to back it up in writing. I write and then I call, okay? So hit them with the 1-2 punch, okay? So this is going to be really important because it's so critical for us to advocate for ourselves and advocate for each other. I also put a link to a YouTube video in the description. This was for a live hearing yesterday, a congressional hearing with the Fed chair, the Federal Reserve chair, and the Treasury secretary, right? So Powell and Mnuchin are their names. They were testifying at a congressional hearing when, again, the questions they were brought up to them about the EIDL program, and they could not answer the question. And so every time they keep saying, we need to go back and like get information from the SBA. Now, this has been more than a month that they still don't have answers from Congress, who wrote the bill that said that we are entitled to the loans and to the grant, and they still cannot account for why they don't know the statistics on what money has been given out. They don't know when the SBA or why the SBA stopped giving out the $10,000 and decided to take it upon themselves to distribute it based on how many employees you have, okay? So they're still seeking answers. So again, we have to be advocates and let them know, like, we know what's going on and it's not right and it's not fair, and that they have inconsistent practices and that there is a total lack of transparency. Okay, so you have to let them know that. So again, this is for the EIDL loan and advance program. If you have applied already and you're confused, you're like, I didn't get anything, I don't know what's going on with my application, or you somehow found out you were denied, or you recently got a denial letter and you did not receive your grant, that tends to be a lot of us, okay? if you fall into any of those categories, please let me know, and please do contact your representatives. It's going to be so important that you do that. Also, keep record of every part of the process. When you applied, the application number. If you were denied, don't stop with the phone call. Call them back and say you want an official record that you were denied the loan. Anybody can say anything over the phone. You want a complete history of the entire application process through closing. So whether you were denied or whether you were approved, okay? So again, this is so important. There's a lot of these programs that are out there, the EIDL, the Paycheck Protection Program, the pandemic unemployment, which I've talked about in previous lives as well. I'll come on tomorrow to talk about it. But these programs are out there. They're beneficial. These are some of the newer programs. And we understand that it's a lot for these agencies, but that's no reason not to be transparent and not to be fairly distributing the monies appropriately. So we know with all of these programs that there's been issues with that, with money getting to the real legitimate small businesses, the minority businesses, the women businesses. So this is a known fact that there are shortcomings with these programs regarding us getting access to the money that, again, we are entitled to. So if you're entitled to it, you have to fight for it, right? And so, like, even when I had said to the representative, I said, what do I need to do? Like, it shouldn't even be my responsibility to follow up to get money they should have given me. But I'm going to do it anyway because I want it, and I want it for you all. So I encourage you to do that, and don't settle for them just telling you anything. A lot of these representatives don't know. They only know what they're being told or the information they've been giving, and that hasn't been accurate. There's been changes on an ongoing basis. So for them to be able to keep up with that, they may not be able to do that. So I understand it's challenging, it's frustrating, but don't stop at just because one representative told you that. This is anything in business or in life. That one person said, no, you're not entitled, you're denied, there's nothing else you can do. There's always something else that you can do, and I'm telling you what you can do now. So it's upon you to take action. So I can continue to encourage you to be an advocate for yourself, to be an advocate for your peers, right? Because it's so important for us to stick together. We have to lock arms, right? And let them know that this is unacceptable and we want better from them. And we're not going to stop, and we're not going to be quiet until that they rectify this situation. So I would encourage you all to do that. Continue to push forward, continue to stay safe and in good health. And again, go watch the video. You will see for yourself them testifying in Congress regarding the CARES Act. And a lot of these things that's going on is not very transparent. And these outstanding questions regarding these programs that are intended to really help those small businesses that are really needing the financial support right now. So I encourage you to go watch it just like I did. I will come back on for more updates. I will be dedicating my show on shebosstalk tomorrow to talk about all things related to the stimulus. So that's the PPP, the EIDL, the pandemic unemployment, any and all the stimulus checks, any questions that you have, you can meet me over there tomorrow at 1 p.m. I'm dedicated because this is super important. I will make sure that I will address all of the updates regarding all of these programs and answer any questions that you have. Until then, you all have a great day. Talk to you soon.